63. Because that was the minutes. Did we approve the minutes on 62?
20 minutes, she said, 15 minutes. Oh, you're down here.
Eh? What? Well, no, well, I intend to be in PX on Tuesday. So, if all goes well, what's wrong with them?
She's been a bit naughty now, some of the articles. George has written it, I haven't read it yet. I hope he hasn't put any rude jokes in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So can we just do 62 and just approve the minutes first? So Phil moves, seconded. Tim, I'll put that motion. All those in favour say aye. What?
Can we just get clarification over the Riccarton Road?
No, these are the minutes. We're just approving the minutes.
Well, my understanding...
You can talk to them offline. They've got delegated authority to make a decision. There are no Part A decisions in the report, and I'm just going to be ruthless in that regard. So I've got... yes, so I'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye. Those opposed say no. That's carried. And so that's the minutes. Now we move to 63, which are the decisions around the AAC Phase 2 projects in Asaph Street. Phil, do you want to introduce this?
Well, look, I will. I guess this part of an accessible city, it certainly has come. It's come from. You'll remember, share an idea. People wanted an accessible city which allowed greater priority for active transport for people to be able to walk and cycle, and for public transport, and for slowing traffic down in places. So since with this phase, and the staff will discuss the specifics, we've already had the Chewham Street cycleway go in, and it's been approved and is underway, and now we have the St Asaph Street phase. So a key part of that is the cycleway, and it will be a separated cycleway. And yes, there was a lot of consultation done on this part of an accessible city, and overall, in my view, it's quite clear that what the people wanted initially to change the mode of transport, that should follow, and those aspects are referred to very clearly in the report.
Righty-ho. Would someone like to move it?
I'll move it.
Phil, seconded by Pauline. Are there any questions? Yanni?
Yeah, I just wanted to be clear. In the report, it says that the committee has the authority to approve it.
Yeah, so look, I think that's a mistake, Yanni.
Happened here? I'm just
that was a mistake.
That's a mistake.
Okay, so the committee doesn't have delegated
authority? No, and
no.
we asked for it, obviously, to come to council.
That's good. Can I just check on the just the financials? How much is it costing, and how much are NZTA and Sarah contributing?
The budget is $3.5 million through the LTP. We are confident we'll deliver it for that much, and the contribution from the NZTA I couldn't comment on it, except that we have the conversations around NZTA's cost share are ongoing.
So we have no commitment, or we do have a commitment?
I can't comment at this stage. Like all things, it's a subsidy based in that you do the work and you make a claim. So I would have to get back to you as to what the eligibility of that, what the percentage subsidy is.
Paul?
Our board raised some considerable concerns around this project, just from the loss of parking, cycleway going past a whole lot of bars, and its relevance right now. I mean, I'm a supporter of the AAC, but the relevance right now, where we've got, let's just take Hereford Street for example's sake, and we've had to AC a whole lot of area which is going to have paving, so we're going to have to dig it up. So we're not actually aligning our AAC projects with development. So to me, it would seem more important to actually align what we're doing with currently what's being developed. Asaph Street's, it's working at the moment, but we're going to have the Triangle Centre building. That's the ANZ building. We're going to have the Hunt building finished on Cashel Street, and walking around those streets, they really need fixing first, in my view. So I just wonder, has there been thought given to aligning our AAC projects with development? So that's really the concern I have, aside from the other concerns of loss of parking down that street and the considerable concerns from the businesses.
So the priority for the Asaph Street project, obviously that's a governance decision that goes back to the LTP. The logic at the time that those decisions were made was to do with completing what we've committed to. And in the particular instance of Asaph Street, what the priority is, it's about matching the facility that's already been embarked on Chelm Street. Separately, there is the coming financial year, we are embarking on a particularly ambitious resurfacing program to address some of those issues Councillor Longsdale has pointed out around just the general state of the pavements, in this, particularly in the CBD.
Get your answer?
All right. Did anyone else have any questions? Jimmy?
On page 197, regarding to the preferred, the option is the inconsistent with the council plan and the policy. I just want to know if inconsistent with the street space, the design guide, because this endorsed by April this year. So what is the mitigate this effect?
So that particular inconsistency is that the Streets and Spaces guideline that was endorsed by council actually would have taken out the car parking in its entirety on the southern side of Asaph Street, and under that particular cross-section, the loss of parking was made up by a widening of the footpath to 5 metres. Mm-hmm. At the outset of our scheming for this project, we decided that the retention of the parking was of greater significance than widening the footpath, and that explains that particular section of the report.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Okay. Any discussion? Yanni?
Yeah, thank you. I won't be supporting this project. Effectively, my concerns are several, but one in terms of priority of spending, given the financial issues that we face, and particularly with the most recent announcement around the infrastructure, I am concerned that we do need to look at the big picture in regards to fixing the broken infrastructure ahead of effectively gold plating the central city. I think the need for the cycle lane is largely driven by the U-turn on the cycleway going through the south frame, which was supposed to be the cycling and pedestrian link from east to west. And I have real concern about placing too many things on streets in terms of activities, where you've got car parking, hospitality, heavy vehicles, cycling, walking. So I just have concerns that we're over-engineering streets to accommodate everything, rather than putting aside dedicated corridors like the south frame was supposed to be for cycling and pedestrian activity, which I think actually leads to a much safer and healthier outcome in terms of what we're doing. So I appreciate that you're trying to deliver modal shift in the central city, and I totally support encouraging more people to cycle and to walk, but I don't think that this is the right approach. I think there's going to be, I think one of the really other things that's missing is really a holistic approach to traffic, and we just had to spend a lot of time talking about the northern arterial extensions and the impact that that's going to have, but actually that's going to put a huge amount of traffic into the central city, and we still seem not to have a kind of overall strategic response to how we're connecting the suburbs into the central city, which concerns me, particularly if you think about the intersection here where you've got High Street, St Asaph, Ferry Road, Madras, and potentially a huge stadium going just in the immediate vicinity. So it just seems to me that this shouldn't be a priority. There's greater pressing priorities in terms of fixing some of our broken infrastructure in the suburbs. Take on board the point that was made by Councillor Lonsdale, which I've made previously on these accessible transport projects, that in fact putting in huge expensive projects when you've still got demolitions and construction to occur is premature, because you actually end up having to spend money again to go back and fix where the damage occurs. So I think personally this isn't a priority for us as a city. I think there's more pressing priorities elsewhere, and I'm concerned about the impact that this will have in terms of the better amenity outcomes, when in fact we should have been seeing this through the South Frame. So I won't be supporting it.
Pauline?
Yeah, thanks. Look, as Phil said, share an idea. People are passionate about cycling. There's only one way to get the cycles out there, and that's to make it safe. And it will be a slow zone in the city, and that in itself should make cycling a lot safer and easier to integrate with other forms of transport. Through the consultation, I noted that the staff did make a lot of changes to the submissions to address the issues. I like the idea of the tree pits going in. That'll help both the quality and the quantity of the stormwater. They made some changes at High Street, at Ferry Road. Out of the parking that was going to be removed, they're now retaining 123 out of 208. So I think we're doing the best we can. It is really difficult retrofitting things like this into existing streets. It's perhaps never going to be perfect, but I think we have to support the cycleways. This is the best city for cycling. Let's make it the best city in New Zealand, if not the Southern Hemisphere, for cycling. So let's get cracking.
Excellent. I'll put the motion. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. Yanni and Paul Lonsdale. Thank you.
Ian, can I just thank the staff for a huge amount of work on this. 290 recommendations, all gone through very clearly. In my view, this has been excellent work, and I want to thank you very, very much.
Yeah,
Thank you. You're welcome.
And anyone who voted no, we do appreciate your work, so just to make that point as well.
We're almost there, team. Almost there. Item 45.